A weak preacher is just as dangerous as a false prophet. Again, a weak preacher is just as dangerous as a false prophet. Or should I say, a weak pastor? Because all pastors are preachers, but not all preachers are pastors. So some preachers preach on a different level. And it's okay for them to be like easy or just go around and speak words of encouragement and preach light sermons. That's okay for them. It's okay for them to do that. But when you're dealing with a leader, a pastor, he can't be weak. But even when you go back to the preachers, it's okay for them to preach light sermons and do. But when the time comes, if they say they're called of God, the sin of God, when the time comes, they can't be afraid to stand up to danger. That's what I really want to say. It's all right for a preacher, like I say, to do light stuff, light work. You don't want to get to it, but if the time comes and when the time comes, he shouldn't be afraid to stand up for the Lord. But when you're dealing with a pastor and leading a congregation, leading a flock, if he's weak, he's just as dangerous as a false prophet. Because when the false prophet comes, or when the sheep, or when the wolf comes, he's not gonna stand there. He's gonna duck out. He's gonna run. He's gonna be shaken. The devil is like wild animals, predators. They can sense with your weakness. It takes a strong, solid, deeply rooted and grounded man of God to stand up. In days time like this, it's too many weak pastors. This is why the church is in such a bad condition now across the United States. Too many weak men are holding leadership positions. You can't be a man of God and you cater to your wife. You can't be a man of God and you lead from behind the wife. There's no time to catering to the wife in the church. You can cater to your wife all you want to at home, but when it comes to running the church, all that got to cease. You got to stand up and be that solid, deeply rooted man of God. Backpedaling preachers, what we dealing with now, Bishop Sheard and a lot of these other so-called women and men preachers coming out talking about the only thing they really talking about when they rebuking William Murphy is to playing the music in the church, the club music. They not touching anything else. So they find an opportunity. Well, yeah, okay, well, we got something I can talk about now. Cook the music in the church. But what about everything else? Everybody making a name. Everybody talking now. Everybody going viral for rebuking, but they ain't talking about a lot of other stuff surrounding William Murphy in Atlanta. They ain't talking about him sitting comfortably on the couch in the midst of abomination, doing the stuff in his church. They ain't talking about that. Bishop Shear definitely ain't gonna hit that. They are tied directly to the world. He may not be, but his family is. His daughter is a recorded gospel artist. She run with a lot of people in the world. Her music is produced by a lot of people. His wife, in their group, they are very much involved with the world. That's why he came out and backpedaled. He can't go down. He can't travel down that avenue. Ain't nowhere in the world. If it wasn't meant for him, I wouldn't have retracted it. I wouldn't have came out and took nothing back. Let the chips fall where they may. It's not like you came out and just dogged the man and went left field on the man. No, if you standing up for the Bible, no matter who you talking to, let the chips fall where they may. That message is good for everybody. Everybody. A backpedaling preacher, weak men, is just as dangerous as a false prophet. Especially when you're dealing with these weak men, these churches, organizations that where women have a major role. Oh, you showing up subject. Look. You showing up subject to being left all alone. Cause that's exactly what's going on when you're dealing with these weak leaders. They might not be false prophets, but if they weak, they gonna leave you standing alone. They not fit to defend the faith, to defend you, to defend the flock. Fight the good fight. Fight the good fight of salvation. This Bible is your sword and shield. We don't fight like they did in the Old Testament, because the apostles were clear. We fight as much as possible with the scriptures against the world. It's a never-ending fight. Not as long as you live here, it'll end once you die, but as long as the world keep going and the Lord don't end, it'll never end until Christ come back. But is everybody duty, every man, to fight for the Lord? You got to fight. You got to go to spiritual war. You got to use your sword, the Bible. You can't get in the pulpit and be backpedaling. Let the chips fall where they may. As long as you didn't get up there and drag a preacher, go in left field and call them all sorts of names, like a lot of preachers who call themselves, who do that stuff. As long as you stay within the rank of the Bible, Whatever was said, perfectly fine. There's no reason to get up there and backpedal. Up there apologizing. This is the type of stuff we're dealing with. That's why the church is, instead of being taken over by the false prophets. Then church have come too much of politically correct politics. Church of Christ, what need organization electing this president, electing this, it's politic ridden. Done destroy it destroyed the power of God. All these dignitaries, all this stuff. We want to do this, we want to. No. God didn't send that stuff. He didn't ordain this stuff. I'm the president of this church. I mean, I'm the presiding bishop, stuff like that. And everything done been watered down because you're trying to look good. Appease is not look good for what you're trying to be. Done turned into like a politician thing. Votes and all this. You got to look good to get the votes. You got to do that. No, you preach the Bible. You preach the word of God. This ain't about running for no bishop seat and all this stuff. You put your hand to the gospel plow. What Jesus said, you look back, you unfit for the kingdom. They don't turn. I look at culture. That's why I don't belong to none of these church organizations, none of this stuff. All this stuff they have folks doing. It's a bunch of mess. Bishop can't preach against nothing because he'll have to put his family in the spotlight. They run around and do whatever they want. Twerking on each other, saying that's why I told you that darn Kirk Franklin in that tour, that tour was filled with satanic stuff. They end up glorified and laughing and shining the spotlights on drag queen. Kirk up there listening to rap behind the scenes, gangster world rap. The Clark sisters won't rebuke Beyonce. They working with the world. They meeting up with rappers. Missy Elliott, they record music with Snoop Dogg. They just Kiara Sheard is collaborating with Nick Cannon, who got babies everywhere. And he's a Hebrew Israelite. Look at the stuff they involved in and who they are involved with. Church is weak. That's why a lot of people like Geno Jennings. He way overdo it. He preach as if it's impossible for him to sin. No way possible. You can't be that way. It's too much self-righteous. You have to preach and stand firm, but realizing too that you just a human. If you fall, you need to give yourself some room for grace. Don't set yourself up like that. Stand firm, yeah, stand firm, but don't act like you God. You are capable of falling at any given time yourself. But you still stand on the word of God. You still lead with love. But then Geno Jennings don't believe in Jesus Christ. Don't believe in Jesus Christ as he is now in heaven beside the Father. You don't have no religion. Y'all ain't on y'all way nowhere but to hell. You can't go to hell without believing in Jesus Christ and who he is. He is not God the Father. He is not God the Father. The Bible say he's on the right hand of the Father. Right hand of power, right hand of in heaven, on the throne, in the body, in the flesh, on the right hand of the Father. How much plainer do it need to get? Where did the body go when it came out of the tomb of the sepulchre? After he walked the earth with his disciples, he went up. The body went up. Fear not, for a spirit don't have flesh and bone. Then we got other scriptures where it say he sprinkled the blood on the mercy seat in heaven. He took the blood up into heaven. So yes, blood, bone, and body went to heaven. But weak preachers are just as dangerous as the false prophet. Weak preachers see the false prophet come, they're gonna start trembling. They're gonna get nervous. Eventually they're gonna run. God haven't given us the spirit of fear. A lot of these preachers are scared. Scared of what they might lose. Who they might lose. If they stand up for the Bible. They're scared of losing their money. How much more money do y'all need? Y'all rich. Y'all filthy rich. Every time y'all preach at them conferences, y'all getting paid. Every time them weak, worldly women preach, they get paid. They go out there on them tour. How much more money do y'all need? Everybody want to go viral now. Everybody talking. All the big names. Everybody making a name for themselves now. But ain't nobody talking about the issue. How them LBGQT agenda is taking over the church. Nothing against the LBGQT, but the Bible still stands. And preachers are standing in the middle trying to mend church in the world together. We can go to heaven. They got the spirit of Carlton Pearson. Look at Ricky Smiley. Look at Rita Brent. All them folks in Atlanta they call themselves saints and sinners. They live the life. They try to live as saints and sinners openly. Ricky Smiley claims he's against LBGQT stuff, but he sits in the face of that stuff every day. He caters to that stuff every day. I done heard him in the past trying to say, well, don't bring that stuff to my house, that type of lifestyle. Don't bring it. You don't. But how you go to work and sit with it? How you go to work and entertain it? How you go to work and mingle with it? Go to their weddings. Y'all can't be for God and for the world. Rita Brent, I seen her. I kind of like her. She from my state. But I seen a video of her in church doing her comedy stand up. Money. For the love of money. These people don't care. She's LBGQT. But you see them on YouTube, you see them singing gospel songs, so to be. Oh, they got the spirit. What kind of spirit y'all got? Well, y'all openly blaspheme God on a regular basis. Y'all have a strange type of salvation. I ain't never seen that before in a day of my life. Where you openly, proudly blaspheme God and think y'all are God's children.